silver cord, a glowing thread, binds us to the higher divine, a bridge immortal and unspoken, helping us to truth align. There, 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 a force of destiny, fate intertwined with that of earth, a ticking clock of new reality, a spiritual rebirth. And when it did impact, the silver cord did snap as well, leaving behind our mortal coil. Silver cord now torn, the spirit flies. There, 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 there. just a cosmic death, but also a means of
get funky.
Oh.
Picture this. Cookie in a what you call a thong, dancing on the Mediterranean beach.
I like the sound of that. Cut me off a piece.
Speaking from experience, I know I'd like to see it.
It's a great experience.
Yeah, you've seen
Hey,
that
what do you
before.
want?
In the flesh.
I've
Yeah, I've
seen
seen
you.
the whole package.
More vivid. Let's just say.
Next time I'm getting
Let's just say he's glossy.
All over.
so Flip flossy. Alright, time to call the fog doctor.
Okay. Get it started soon. All right, turning down that in the background. Hope that you are all having a good night. Or, I guess, morning if you're really far away. What snack did I get? I mainly got wine, but I also got a small piece of cheese. I know, I need to do some morning streams to really get the European audience. Will the newest Sella train set be actually decent? Probably. It's more of a question of when will the first problem be, because Alstom. A lot of this footage in the background is basically mostly from my nicer camera. There's a few cell phone shots in it. This is going up the Hudson, of course. Some of the newest footage I actually had at the beginning of this, which was riding on the Adirondack. Let's see. We gotta open up some things. Alstom has some of the Bud patents, not all of them. Bud kind of got distributed through a bunch of companies, but Alstom probably has a good chunk. The M fleets will probably be the B-52 of trains. They will probably be in service for a very long time. Alright, let's move over to... Oh, hello! Now let me bring up chat, because chat is not showing. This one? Yes. Hello. I don't like this blur feature. I have not... Might turn it off, because it is kind of annoying. No, we'll leave that up there for now. Yeah, let me mess with the blur feature. I am slightly annoyed how much it, That's not as bad. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Siemens is building that factory, or hopefully they are. So, let's see. Oh. Honestly, having ridden the M fleets, they're much more comfortable than the Siemens stuff. Yeah, I'm actually going to work on a video for that topic. Because the Europeans don't know how to build seats. They have cushion austerity. Comfort austerity. They believe that you should be hurt while riding a train. If you could feel the bumps, that means that you're enjoying the train, like Porsche. Yeah, no, well, no, it is a plugin for OBS. I mean, I hate that in cars too. Yeah, no, they bring back like 1980s GM where they just put a couch in the front seat. I don't mind the facing each other thing. Facing each other thing's fine. You might just have to talk to people. That's fine. Or if you don't, you just sit on your phone, which most people do anyway. But I think forced interaction is not a bad thing, especially nowadays. Oh, something in my eye. Ah. Bring back Malaise era air rides. Yes, please. Hair is not cooperating today. Whatever. Let's see. Give me Amfleet 2 legroom. Well, Amfleet 2s might be the first ones to go away. Yeah, no, the spaciousness of Amtrak seats is definitely the thing that, like... Yeah, I'm gonna miss it. Because the new... I've even seen the new Venture seats that Amtrak is supposedly going to use, and they are not. They do not look as good as Amfleet's. Also, some of the Ventures don't even, or the Siemens seats don't even recline. They just slide out the bottom of the seat, which is... I want to strangle the designer that thought they should... That's what replaces the recline. I like him, Jago Hazard. Yeah, I need to find that video, but I do watch him a lot. Let me open this up. I'm getting flashbanged on my screen. So let me show you what's going on with SEPTA funding. I will get to that. We will talk about SEPTA funding in just a little bit, because I am actually working on a video about that, specifically yelling at one man. Normal Amfleet seats are incredible, but have you tried the red leather seats? No, I've tried. Actually, yeah, I've tried business class once. All right, that's enough. More bar carts. Why are bar carts dying off? I just want to hop on a train and stumble. Yes, I mean, I prefer cafe cars where I have to walk to the cafe, because then I don't have to wait for the cart to come by or someone coming by with the drinks. Speaking of, I really enjoy the cafe cars. Let's see. I mean, the fun one is the Superliners, because the Superliners are the double decker, and when you're in the lounge car, you go downstairs, and then there's basically the snack bar and bar where you can buy drinks. And then you can go back up and sit and watch the views go by. I just took the Trenton line to Suburban yesterday. Gonna miss frequency. We'll get to the SEPTA funding. We're gonna stay on one or two other topics first that we'd have to talk about. But like I said, I am working on a video about it. I am not totally doomer about the whole situation yet. And honestly, there's a very, very bright light at the end of the tunnel that I'm going to talk about tonight, and I'll talk about in the video tomorrow. Because I think that things are going to get really good in about a year. I've heard the new Venture cars, the seats were fixed and the seats can't recline. I barely know anything about Amtrak passenger car interiors. Yeah. Also, let me okay, engage with audience. We're gonna do a poll. Background music. I'll let you guys decide if we want to have that on or off. Did that go? There we go. Superliners aren't getting a sequel. I have some opinions on the Superliners. I don't know if they should be copied in the future. Did you see Metro is bringing back Cafe Car? Yes, I did. And they mainly... Here, let me show people what you're talking about. Metro Cafe Car. Yeah, here we go. Where's browser? Oh. Where is my chat? Give me chat. Give me back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about. Apparently, Metra is bringing back these cafe cars, which is basically just a gallery car with the upper seats stripped out of here and then basically a bar rigged into it, which is very, very Metra, very ragtag sort of them, which I don't mind. All right, so far background music is winning. I'll leave that up for a little bit longer. So I think the reason why they're doing this is because Metra is contracted by the state to run the service. Where is it? They're going to run the service out to Rockford or whatever it is. Right? Where's... Yeah, like out here or something like that? Or whatever the really far service is. I guess Rockford's there. Yeah, so it's about double the length of most of their current routes. And because of that, people are going to be stuck on this thing for probably... I'd say almost 2 hours, depending on how many local stops there is going to be. So like if I was running a railroad and I wanted to have a good customer experience, yeah, I'd put a cafe on it. Also, it's Midwesterners. Midwesterners can't exist too long without a beer. Got to have a beer in hand. Yeah, all right. I'll bring back the music. One sec. Where is that? And then let's see. Maybe we'll do Dripping Tap. Put that in the background. Okay. As a Midwesterner who rides Metro, I couldn't agree more. End poll. I wish Doylestown line had a cafe car. Agree. I wish it also just had bathrooms. Because SEPTA, if SEPTA's going to run any further services, they're going to need a cafe car. How many people we got in here? Oh, 100. Okay. Let me show you guys what my Discord has been working on WPlace, because we've been having a little bit of fun with it. So before I go to Altoona, because that's the big thing, we'll show off what we've been working a little bit. There's like the Armchair Urbanist thing in Philly. I also like there's your problem thing over here. I gave Justin a mouth, I guess. There's a few other fun things in Philly if you look around. Obviously the big old SEPTA logo. There used to be an Armchair Urbanist Keystone in New York, but that got covered up by some big mural thing. But in Altoona, also, I am stuttering way more than usual. Is that the video capture thing? Let me adjust that filter. So I think it's, run it on GPU, please. Thank you. Oh, much better. Where the hell? Altoona. What are you guys saying? Hope the new Acela seats are soft. They're softer than the Venture cars, but they're not super ridiculously good. I saw someone doing a big Acela south of McGuire. You say the train doesn't have bathrooms, am I right? Yes, most SEPTA trains, I think all of them don't have bathrooms, mainly because they don't go that far. But they probably should. But that's exactly one of the cost-saving measures that SEPTA does to have a very good operating ratio. But that's not always a good thing. Anyway, here in Altoona we have the Rodster, and here I can turn off the disable. I have a plugin that allows us to put kind of an image on it and then overlay it to do it. But yes, we have Rodney that we are slowly working on. And if you want instructions on how to work on it, Piero has set up a great website. Just follow that and it'll give you the instructions of how to install it. Or install the plugin in your browser to do that, to do the overlay, which is this thing, the blue marble thing. And then we're just following the template essentially. And the template's pretty easy. It's just literally, it shows you the colors and you get on here and you just fill in the colors. So pretty simple. I wish I could turn off the sound, but the only way to do that is muting the tab. And essentially that's all it is. You're just filling in, unless our place is having, or WPlace is having problems. You just fill in the template, and that's essentially what we're doing. It's taking a very long time. I was going to say, no sheets. There is a sheets thing I've seen. I think it's down here. Many, many great... Where was the sheets one? I definitely saw one. Yeah, right there. There you go. And then obviously the Railfan Circle Jerk is at Horseshoe Curve, of course, which you can find everything. I like the person that did the position light. I don't know. This WPlace has kind of been a really fun thing to explore because it's honestly been one of the things that's made me really positive about, I guess, society recently. It's fun to just scroll across and see like what things people have done and if there's stuff related to like where it is. And the fun thing I found about our place is that there is a ton of railroad references all over the map. It's been honestly really fun and refreshing to see that. And I know this obviously skews younger. It's probably mostly teenagers, 20-year-olds, and probably there's some 30-year-olds that are doing stuff on this. But it's fun to see that generally looking at this, it's like if the people that are generally doing stuff on here are the ones that are taking over in the future, I'm not too concerned. Because it's really nice to see all the stuff that's on here. Another fun thing, like if you go to Harrisburg, which is really funny, you'll see the fun SEPTA stuff, which we will get to. There's a little GG1 here, which I think is funny. And then some person is currently doing the entire Pennsylvania main line. Like the Rockville Bridge is there, but they have highlighted the entire thing. So if you go through Pennsylvania, they have gotten pretty far. I don't know who is doing this, but they even put the mile markers and the interlockings, I think, on here, which are very funny. Similar to this, if you go if you go to California, someone in California, which LA is insane, but there's a lot of fun things, obviously, Southern Pacific. If you go here, you'll notice on LA Union Station, you notice the California High-Speed Rail thing. And if you zoom out and follow the lines, you will see, after a little bit, a blue line diverges. And that blue line is the exact path of California high-speed rail that it's going to take in the future. And if you follow it all the way, you can see like the entire route, which I think is kind of cool. Of course, like in Tehachapi, you have all the railroad stuff. Also, of course, Buba, but we have tons of stuff through the Central Valley, and it's really fun that people have been doing this. Yeah, BART is on there. Basically, most systems, even bus systems, I've seen on this. Like, the funniest one to me that I found was someone in Duluth has put their entire bus system on the map, which, like, that's the one thing I would have never expected. Also, of course, Duluth has all of the freighters. Yes, rip to the Edmund Fitzgerald. I'm surprised someone hasn't put the Duluth and Iron Range Railroad logo somewhere on here, unless I am missing it. Oh wait, never mind. That's one of them at least. Yeah, no, there's a ton of great stuff. Also, here you go, A10 and F22 pixel art, and a SR71 just getting started. It looks like. I'm trying to think of some of my favorite places I've found so far, because, there. Oh yeah, Baltimore's fucking hilarious. Wait. Like, it's so great seeing all the references like actually laid out geographically. That's really funny. And also, like, most of the Northeast Corridor, there's like references all over it to different things, which is kind of fun. Like, someone did, again, the Northeast Corridor is being marked out over time. Also, of course, Aberdeen Proving Grounds has your tanks. That's funny. Where is, yeah, there's an ACS in Thomas. Basically the whole map, there's like, people have left railroad sort of stuff all over, and it's fun because it seems to be overrepresentative compared to other things, I think. So the foamers have definitely embraced this. What is with all the Final Fantasy art? I mean, what is not with all the Final Fantasy art? The people that like that, the people that like those games, they can never stop talking about those games. I drew the Newark station. Oh, you're the one that did that. I saw the one in Hornell. We will go there in a sec. Because I'm even surprised, like, I went to my hometown, which is like Glassboro and Pittman here, and my fucking high school's like logo is here, which is like so funny to me. I'm the one that put the little heart here because I was like, I want to say thank you to whoever did that. So it's like really fun to find that, and like, yeah, there's railroad shit everywhere. Like, here's Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines. Like, who would it, like, I would have never thought there would be someone, and there's multiple Pennsylvania Railroad Seashore Lines like references. Also, the Atlantis is over here too, which I think is very funny. I like the ferry personally. Wildwood was fun. I remember looking at this for a while. It was just the beach ball and like an umbrella, and now there's a bunch of stuff here. There is a, yeah, there it is. There is a New Jersey Transit Atlantic City Line train. We are currently looking at WPlace, which is essentially taking the concept of that thing that happened on Reddit a long time ago, where people could do individual pixels. Like, I can place a pixel down. Like, we'll do one to show you. I can place a pixel down like that and paint it. And now everyone on this website can now see this pixel in that specific location. I can also remove it. You can use a transparent one. But yeah, that's essentially the fun part about this, is that you can sort of draw on the map and sort of everyone gets to see it. And a lot of stuff is very like, here's the massive Wawa goose is being drawn out. And there's a bunch of fun things. I mean, someone else again is drawing Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines here. And most transit lines have been actually mapped out, hence the NJT. And there's Patco. Tons of fun stuff that you can see references to. Like, I love the SS United States. Like, this is very funny. Yes, Princeton in general is very funny if those have not seen it. Because you have the Avalia, of course, but there's a stupid amount of Dr. House references. And some of my favorites have been up here in Scranton, which you can pretty much expect exactly. It would be majority Office references. someone I think griefed this one a little bit because it was a Pam and Jim one. But yeah, these are great. Also Lackawanna thing being drawn. But that's the fun thing is generally like in Manhattan, of course, the biggest cities in the world are of course the most insane. And Manhattan is of course one of the most fought over territories for stuff to draw on. Of course, the New York Central is there. But yeah, there's the subway system. People have been adamantly drawing it out even through all of this insane nonsense. You can, yeah, there's some of the subway stuff. Yeah, oh, it started in Brazil. Some of the original people started in Brazil. Where is Hornell again? Let's see. There it is. There you go. There's usually some references. There's a lot of references to other YouTubers in places I've noticed. Yeah, I like the premise of the Fuck Cars subreddit, but it's like some of those people are similar to Not Just Bikes, where they just can't chill. Like sometimes you just need to chill. There was because there was a good one here. Yeah. I didn't do this, but I thought this was fun, so I put the logo here. So that was me. But someone else did that. And obviously N&W, different stuff. A lot of Scott Pilgrim stuff, which, oh my god, if you go to Toronto. Toronto is also pretty insane. Basically, any of the biggest cities in like a country are just going to be insane. Like, yeah. Also, no Porter or airline representation here. I would have at least had something there for it. No CN. I don't see a CN logo unless I have been... That's crazy. Yeah, I've not seen a CN logo. Check Strasbourg. I have seen Strasbourg. I've also, some of the fun stuff I've seen along the Connecticut coast here. Like obviously New Haven, tons of New Haven references, and like a roster of stuff, even a turbo train, which I think is funny. There's also an I-5 someone drew, yeah. Some of these people, I think I know some usernames I've seen once in a while with a lot of the railroad stuff. It's definitely not something I keep track of, but it's definitely some people in our Discord or elsewhere I've definitely seen repeating usernames. They love on the Canadian side. I don't know. There might be some on the Canadian side. Maybe along the corridor, but I haven't looked. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some stuff. You got the Charger sets, and then a I guess CP or Canadian Pacific or something consist. There's a CN logo. There's some of them. You can generally find the F-16. It's funny because if you know locations for like actual things and references, most of the time people have done them on location. Like if those of you know the lore around Centralia, Pennsylvania, you would not be surprised if you find Silent Hill references and different stuff here. Which is very funny. And also, if you go to Reading or whatnot, of course you're going to get Reading Railroad references, and you'll get, obviously, Reading and Northerns. There is some big Reading and Northern stands here, because they have drawn out the entire consist for these. Yeah, it's very funny. Also, good JoJo pixel art, too. There's a ton of stuff. generally, like, it's really fun seeing how much people care about, like, local things. It's, like, kind of refreshing. Because where else? I've mainly been looking at a lot of stuff, obviously, in the Northeast, because that's kind of what I know. But I've been looking overseas once in a while. Brazil is insane, because that's where a lot of, like, stuff started. I was looking at Halifax the other day, because it was, obviously, you got, and see, in Halifax, you got to mark where the ship exploded. But even they have their buses. The Blackpool tram is on there. Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff on here. I think even Miami had a lot of stuff in their metro system. Their metro system's mapped out by someone. They had, a Tri-Rail and a Brightline thing. Seems to be someone griefing it, but... it's weird. It seems every city... the transit and railroad nerds seem to overlap a lot with the people that would use this in general. I've never looked at Orlando. Oh, Brightline is on here. That's funny. Also, all the airline tales. That's funny. Oh, one of my favorite airline references I've seen was at BWI. Where is that? Yeah. the Southwest Maryland one is very funny that someone did that. Someone did a cute doodle for the narrow gauge. It's Brightline going under. Maybe? More likely than I would think, possibly. Also, speaking of the narrow gauge, whereas someone has done a very funny... Yes, so if you see this line going across my screen, those are train cars, and they eventually lead you to, if it will load, they eventually lead to the East Broad Top, where there's I guess that is a 262 is pulling that entire thing. Let's see, Maryland Flag Fest flag. Yeah, it's my Discord is especially there's a sub or a thread under the memes and politics channel. If you look under there, there's a thread in there that's all talking about this website essentially. Some of the like funny, like I would have never thought there would be some like reference to type thing is all the way up here in Maine. There is the narrow gauge that is next to, where is it? Is it Waterville? I'm trying to remember. Where it's the W word. Winterport, yes. Bangor, where is it? I'm trying to remember the Wissacassett, there it is, or whatever. These guys, which I would have never thought someone would have spent time to put a tiny narrow gauge on here. Also, very good. But yeah, there's so much stuff on this that like people really care about like where they live, and it's very fun to see all of the references. Montreal had a bunch of fun things too. I was in Montreal recently. I'll have to show you guys some of the pictures. Obviously, hockey, of course. But someone has drawn out the entire metro system. Most cities that have a metro system, there definitely seems to be people that have drawn it out already. Even Rem. What did I do? Even Seattle has a really funny one. If you zoom in on the bridge here, is it coming soon? ? Exclamation point. Seattle has a ton of stuff on it. Almost hard to look at some stuff with how dense a lot of these things are. The Boeing stuff. There was, if you go down to, where is it? Yeah, if you go down to, it was either Renton or Tacoma. Tons of fun stuff here, but yeah, if you go down to Tacoma, I think, yeah, there's the Milwaukee Road, and then there's a BN one, and obviously someone drew out Sounder and the little streetcar thing. Also Germa, of course. Something tells me Redmond would have a ton of Nintendo stuff. Yeah, well, Bellevue, if you look at Bellevue, you can pretty much assume what it's gonna be here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would expect. Other than Microsoft is also over here technically. Fucking Valve News Network stuff is so funny. He's funny. He's only his channel's only slightly bigger than mine, I think. Or like I don't know. Maybe it is. I haven't looked in a while, but I do like his stuff. I think he's funny. Yeah, so much Team Fortress stuff, which I do appreciate. If that poster is a Team Fortress one. But yeah, you can pretty much find like references to anything, and if people spend enough time, even in the middle of nowhere, you will find stuff. Actually, I find the middle of nowhere stuff really fun, because like generally it's someone that cares so much that like they have done things. So sometimes this website loads so slowly. Because I don't think it's my computer. That is a big... That must have taken forever. Also the fucking S95. That's so funny. Because yeah, if you know like the location or reference to certain things, you will find it on this map. Like, if you know that San Diego is pretty big with the Navy, also the borders usually have something along them. Come on, please load. Where is it? Where's the airbase? I swear to God, there was like a Top Gun reference, because essentially the Navy Air Base around San Diego is what people think of. Also, but there's an Aegis destroyer, and someone's drawing out a littoral combat ship, I think. What is this? Funny. Has the Mustang crashed into any pedestrians? I think the S95 is slightly before the meme. So I wouldn't put the S95 Mustang in the same meme. Check Raleigh. I have not looked at some of the North Carolina cities. Wait, am I dumb? Is that South Carolina? No. I can't... Oop, did my map crash? No, there we go. Okay. Look at Zurich. I will look at Zurich in just a sec. What is going on here? This is where Epic Games is based. Because if you look at the Bay Area, there's a huge section over where Roblox is based. Has someone done? Someone has done the Piedmont. That's funny. There you go. The Piedmont. That's funny. Yeah, I said like the foamers are everywhere. Like they do infest this map. There's another one. People really like it. Oh, and a Conrail thing. And more stuff. People really. That's funny. Fucking Wojak. There's a great Wojak in Pittsburgh. I will show that in a second. I know Newgrounds is in Glenside. Yes, I did see that. That's an old reference. Wow. That's cool. Okay. Here, let me show the one in Pittsburgh. We have buildings in San Diego. Surprise basically nowhere cities event. Yeah, New York has. New York has done the Chrysler Building and Empire State Building I've seen. Hello, Pittsburgh. But yeah, here's my favorite Pittsburgh one. There's a ton of good shit in Pittsburgh. Obviously, Mr. Rogers, of course, has a bunch of references all over. The funicular is on here. Mr. Rogers' trolley shows up a bunch. There's a bunch of good stuff here. I think someone did their light rail system. Yes, someone did. Yeah, someone even did a sprite of the light rail, which is kind of fun. Of course, if you go to Morgantown, which is nearby, you get many PRTs. I don't know what this is a reference to. Is this like a Fallout thing? Because this is in West Virginia, so I assume it's something like that, unless I'm missing something. Not those EVs up there. I'm gonna stay away from that. There's a ton of funny things in West Virginia. Like if you go to New Martinsville. Or no, wait, it's not Martinsville. It is... it's Parksburg? No. Where is... Point Pleasant. Yep. You get a lot of Mothman references. A lot of Mothman references. And the Silver Bridge, of course. Washington is a fucking mess. Because Washington... Some people have held the fort on actually drawing out the mall here. But Washington, like many places on WPlace so far, is a place of very... what would I say? A very... battlefront, essentially, of many people with opinions that want their stuff shown. Which is... how a few places are. Let's see. Okay. Where is the Fallout 76 takes place? Shout out to the one TYP episode. Yes, that was the first one. There is many Jermas around the entire map. Jerma is okay. If you want Fallout references, just go up here to, let's see, where is it? Raven Rock. You will find Fallout references. But there is many Fallout references in one specific city. Can you guess which city it is? And while you guys guess, I'm gonna make sure that this is loading. I'm getting to the point where I think that I'm getting to the point where I think that's what is it? Might need to upgrade my computer at some point because it is not doing as good as I wish it was. Let's see. Yeah, Boston has some stuff, but we will go to the one place that does have the most amounts of Fallout stuff or Fallout references, and that is Las Vegas. Basically, the entire map of Las Vegas is a New Vegas reference. Which, if you've seen the new Fallout show trailer, I am very excited for that. There you go. Basically, the entire map of Vegas is just a Fallout reference here and there. Yeah, almost the entire thing. You can find some Fallout reference somewhere in it. Also, Allegiant Air, which, sure, I guess. I think if you go to Hoover Dam, if I'm not mistaken, there is literally a battle over Hoover Dam currently. Between the NCR and the, yeah, you can see it here. Between the NCR and the Legion. At least you have a micro center in St. David. Yes, I need to eventually get new computer parts. I have, for various reasons, have not had the cash to throw out for that kind of stuff for a bit. So I have avoided it for the most part. Dude, it's great. Check out Shell Rock, Iowa. I have no fucking clue where that is. Also, what is this? Hold on. We're gonna skip to a different album, I think. They wrote the entire script to Steam Hams at Albany. I did see that. There's also a bunch of Genesis at the Amtrak facility too, which I thought was fun. I think this is a good playlist. Let me put this one on. Totally missed the SEPTA news. I did not talk about SEPTA yet. We will talk about that in just a sec. Yeah, this seems like a good lineup. We'll skip to this. Shell Rock is in north of Waterloo. Okay, I will find that in just a sec. My computer is struggling today. Hopefully the stream quality isn't too bad. I think it's a mixture of my computer being old and generally the internet. I have it set up wrong here. Because I moved to this new place in March, and there's still some things that I have not set up totally correctly, including over here. I have some boxes for a new desk and stuff that I got from a sponsor, which I'll be talking about probably in one of the next videos. What was I gonna show? I was gonna show. What were we gonna? If this is gonna load, we love WPlace. No, it's not Waterloo. Thank you, WPlace. Very fast website. I'm forgetting which is the... No, it's not one of the ones on the river. Mason City. I'm pretty... Right? Oh my god, if this is gonna load, please. Just west of Waverly. Alright, one sec. Mason City, please load. Poisoning pigeons in the park. is this struggling so much? Okay, I'll close some of these other tabs. Is that going to help? Oh yeah, someone has done Iowa traction. Okay. I'm happy now. I'm happy. Someone's done it. Those that have looked at Chicago too. Chicago is insane. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, WPlace has had a problem for a while, not loading. I mean, their servers are not known to be that good. If Chicago could load, that would be fantastic. Let's try reloading the tab, because maybe it's a memory leak type thing. If there's Iowa traction, is there Deseret power? Maybe. Ah. That could be the problem. Also, why is it so hot in here all of a sudden? Turn that up. Yeah, let's go to Deseret power. So, hey, Kelly. If it would load, hello. The meaning to map the GCL on WPlace. That would be cool. Why is this not loading? Thank you. Come on. Okay, I guess we're not going to talk about that anymore. Let's just open Railguide. Okay, at least Railguide always loads pretty quickly. So yeah, let's talk about SEPTA. If you have your SEPTA questions or anything that's related, let me know and I will try to answer some things. But basically, for those that don't know, about a fourth or a fifth of SEPTA's operating budget comes from state funds, and the state currently is 1/3 controlled by Republicans. They control the Senate, let's just load back to this, and I don't know what's up in my browser. Maybe I will reload Chrome, because that could be half the issue. Let's stop the music for now. F to stream, it's still, let's see. Is the stream struggling? Question mark? Okay, seems to be back, right? We all good? Yeah, I don't know why this is good for me. Okay, some people were having problems, it seems like. Okay. I'm lagging a lot. Okay. Getting better. Alright. Alright, we'll chill with the map stuff for a bit. I think that was chat is a 5-minute delay is okay. It seems a bit here, yeah. Okay, much better now. Alright, so we'll talk about SEPTA. Because it sounds like I might have to fix my internet in the future before I stream again, so it's a stronger stream strength. But essentially, SEPTA is 1/4 or 1/5 of SEPTA's budget comes from the state. The state is currently controlled. The governor and the House are controlled by Democrats, but the Senate is controlled by Republicans, which is the 1/3 of the government is essentially controlled by Republicans. And the Republicans don't quite get the idea of running a government, is the best way to explain it. The leader of the party is like a drunken asshole, and he basically just wants to sort of just cause problems for the Democrats. And so they've gone back and forth on the budget, and the budget is now like 55 days late for the state, not just SEPTA. And so what is it? Let me look at the stream health, because it's not doing all right. Stream is healthy according to this. Anyway, with the SEPTA budget, essentially, it's not only SEPTA, it's the state. So you're giving Joe Pittman two kind of description. Yeah, he's an asshole. He's a hick asshole is the best way to describe him. And the main issues is that he essentially has a grudge from like 15 years ago when like funds were diverted to transit from highway funding, and that's what is it? That was, is there something downloading? Like, why is this causing problems? I have no idea. Let me close this and then reopen it. Maybe that's the problem. All right, I'm gonna close the chat real quick. And we'll see if this helps and if I can relaunch. I think Chrome might have been causing the problem. That might have been the issue. Either way, okay, so... Oh, is this gonna load? Here, let me open this on my phone, because it maybe if the stream is continuing, but my computer is... Here. Okay, I can now see you guys and see the stream. All right. I will read chat on my phone here because I guess the computer is having problems with Chrome for some reason. Okay, so essentially, the Republicans have been causing the problem. They've been holding up the budget, and the length bar is confused on where I am on the stream. Of course, when the cuts happen, unfortunately, paratransit 2, paratransit right, paratransit is lifetime, especially for suburban and rural routes. Yes. So basically what I think is going to happen is, unfortunately, I think SEPTA will have temporary cuts, which are frustrating. And it's like a total diversion from doing normal stuff, and it's a total waste of time. And then I think quite soon the Democrats or someone will give the Republicans something stupid like school vouchers, which is essentially money for private and charter schools because Republicans are evil. And then because of that, what happens if Republicans never get the bill passed intentionally? Well, essentially, if this is part of the state budget, so this sort of has to pass at some point, and the Democrats are saying no to passing the budget until SEPTA is in it or transit is in it, because it's not just SEPTA, it's all of transit in Pennsylvania, which includes the PRT in Pittsburgh. It includes all of the little systems, like the small system in Indiana, Pennsylvania, which is where Joe Pittman, the leader of the Republican Party, lives. So it like affects all of these little places that have transit systems like Allentown, Harrisburg, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just SEPTA. And so essentially, anyway, because of this, the budget has not been passed. But The thing is that they have to pass the budget at some point because the Republicans rely on the budget to basically subsidize a lot of things in rural counties, including road construction, their police forces, a lot of the basically subsidies for housing that they have in a lot of these rural towns, and many other things. So they're going to be hurting either way if they don't pass the budget, because it does affect all of these other things too. It's an odd stream. All right, I'll have to fix that. Media congestion. Yeah, no, maybe. But essentially, anyway, the so what the problem is that basically the Republicans have had to be obstructionists, and the reason why is because they are scared. They know that possibly next year there are, I think, 8 or 9 Senate districts in Pennsylvania up for election. Actually, it's more than that. I think it's like 12. And out of the 12, there is about 5 or 6 that are contested that could possibly, the Democrats could win. And so the Republicans are really, really afraid that they will actually lose power completely next year. Because you have to remember, you have to go back like 10 years. 10 years ago in Pennsylvania, the Republicans controlled everything. Before Tom Wolf, there was a Republican governor for a bit, and then there was the Republican-controlled Senate and House. So Pennsylvania used to be very red as a local government wise, and now it's slowly shifting the other direction. And hopefully Windows isn't downloading updates on the PC at the moment. Yeah, let me check that. I don't think it should be. Shouldn't be. System settings, checking for updates. That might be what it is. No, it's not downloading anything. Okay, I think it's YouTube side, not yours. That would be weird if it was. So yeah, so anyway, the part of the problem was the Republicans proposed a budget last minute because that was their whole idea. Their whole idea is if we can force the Democrats into a last minute decision, they'll have to accept our bill, essentially. And their bill had a ton of stuff that specifically like gave money to all of these rural towns that necessarily didn't need it for like highway widening and road widening, et cetera, et cetera. Part of the thing did fund SEPTA, but the way it funded SEPTA was that it used the capital funds under the state budget to fund SEPTA for the next 2 years. Unfortunately, that capital budget, they said, was a surplus of the capital budget. But essentially what it was that money of the surplus was essentially going to be used for future transit projects that were about to happen. Like the main one, which is a very topical thing at the moment, which is the Silverliner 6 order. Because currently our Silverliner 4s, they are approaching 50 years old at this point, and they're having problems, and so they need to be replaced. So the Silverliner 6 order is about to go out, or at least the RFP for it is about to go out, and the money in the CapEx fund of the state was going to help pay for that. And the Republicans were essentially proposing to strip the CapEx money and use it for operations for the next 2 years. So what I meant to say is, why does SEPTA need money? Of course, transit is a problem, but why is SEPTA and many transit agencies around the nation running out of money at the moment while RTD isn't? RTD probably has a different funding scheme, so SEPTA for a long time had a funding model that was guaranteed by the state for 10 years. In 2015, there was a law written, and a part of the law was Act 89. Act 89 apparently basically guaranteed a certain money out of the Department of Transit's fund for transit around the state, including SEPTA. And that law was at minimum 10 years long. And so that meant, or 2012, not 2015. And that law was at minimum 10 years long. It would give for 10 years at least, SEPTA would receive a certain amount of funds from the state guaranteed. That's great. SEPTA actually got a lot of stuff done during that time because they knew they could budget in certain ways and get stuff done. But in 2022, Act 89 was about to be renewed, and we had a Democratic governor, but we had a Republican Senate and House. So that meant when they voted for new things, they voted to cancel Act 89 and not renew it. So that meant that SEPTA for every year since 2022, so 2023, 2024, and 2025, they've essentially had to go to the state and basically beg to be included in the budget. And so this is not something that like is new or unfounded. Actually, SEPTA is asking for less money this year than last year because they've been doing so well with ridership. And so it's frustrating because this is not something new. This is not something that needs to be like debated upon. They've gotten this money basically every year since the beginning of their existence, but the Republicans are suddenly acting like, oh, SEPTA's so inefficient, SEPTA's asking for so much money, et cetera, et cetera. But no, it is the same money that every year they've asked for. Last year, they got really close to signing a deal with basically putting a tax on gambling and using the tax to fund transit. Let's see. Yeah, no, and that's what they want to do. It's similar to fast tracks. SEPTA needs a capital budget. Yes, agreed. So essentially, what was it? So essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a gambling tax or skills game tax, whatever they're going to call it. And they're going to push that as sort of the thing to do. Excuse me. And this tax is essentially supposed to be like it is a transit specific fund. Now, unfortunately, when they were trying to pass it last year, there was a specific ex-board member president by the name of Pat Dion that essentially came in and said that, or two Republicans while they were doing this, that no, I have a grudge. I have a grudge against Leslie Richards, who was the GM of SEPTA last year. And he said, do not pass the budget or that gambling thing until Leslie Richards steps down, and she should know that. And so if you look at the articles last year and timeline of everything, Leslie Richards, the general manager of SEPTA, stepped down one day before that vote was going to happen on that bill. And then the vote happened and they still didn't pass it. So I do feel, even though I wasn't a big fan of Leslie Richards as the GM, I do feel bad that she was forced out in that way. And I'll talk about that more in the video that I'm going to be putting out either tomorrow or Friday. And so it's I can't fucking wait till the Republicans are gone. And that's what I was getting to, is that part of the reason, let me catch up with you guys in chat. So part of the reason why Republicans are doing this is they're flailing and waving because this is, I think, one of the last years that they might be in power. Now, I'm being very optimistic because I think that most general Americans, even the centrists and even some of the Republicans, are very, very tired of Cheeto Benito. Trump has caused so many problems that even the average person or conservative has even questioned, like, do I want this person leading a country? And in turn, do I want the Republican Party leading the country? And so the Democrats necessarily are going to do probably very well next year. And with that, like I said, there's a few 5 or 6 districts that are contested next year. And in those contested districts, I think that the Senate for Pennsylvania could flip. So that means that the Democrats would control everything. So if SEPTA can get funding for this year and make it into next year, or I guess year and a half, I think we're going to be able to get more funding than ever for SEPTA. and transit in general, and maybe even some larger project at some point, maybe like a high-speed rail thing between Pittsburgh and Philly if the Democrats stay in power. So like, as much as I am dooming over the current situation, and I think like it's very frustrating that we have to deal with this in the first place, I am also very excited for next year. And I think that campaigning and helping with campaigns, especially in the districts that I said are probably going to be flipped, is kind of exciting. Because finally we won't have to deal with the idiots in charge, or at least the 1/3 of the government that happens to be idiots. So yeah. Shapiro wants to run for president. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Shapiro. I think that for the most part, I think he's a machine politician that it works only for PR. But he's fine. He's not the Republicans. And he seems to have like a head on his shoulders for the most part. So yeah, I'll be doing a video on this topic, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating living here and dealing with this. It's frustrating having to make content on this this shit, because it should be just status quo that our transit systems are funded, and instead we have to deal with the dumbest motherfuckers of all time living in rural Pennsylvania, like dictating where like stuff is going. I wish Joe Pittman the worst time possible for the next whatever. I hope that he succumbs to the healthcare that he provides his constituents. I hope he succumbs to the traffic statistics that he provides his constituents. I hope he succumbs to the many material conditions that he provides his constituents. Because yeah, these people are terrible, and I can't wait till they're gone. I used to live fairly close to Erie. Yeah, no, the main problem, the main guy that's causing problems is from Indiana, Pennsylvania. And honestly, I had like, hold on, let me find it. I created a Hitler particle map of Pennsylvania, so let me find that real quick. If this will load. Yeah, here is the... Here we go. Yeah, here's the Hitler particle. If people are in those circles, that means that's the bad part of Pennsylvania. I worked in a summer camp in 2016. I thought Civics Hope that seat will never... Yeah, no, the Indiana, Pennsylvania will not flip. I will show the other districts that will flip, hopefully. I am just asking because I heard one of our directors talking about SEPTA's got budget issues to fix. No, it's completely done by the state. It's nothing to do with SEPTA having problems with their equipment or anything like that. Yes, essentially, yes, I agree with you, Glenn. Whereas, hold on, there's another picture I need to find too, because I made, so I have, where is SEPTA? SEPTA. These are the districts that can be flipped. So these are some of the districts that can be flipped, and these are, or at least these are some of the elections that are happening next year. So some of these districts are the ones that are going to be the battleground areas. 36 is probably the least likely to flip, but these other ones are ones to focus on. Scranton is probably the most likely going to stay blue, or this one's going to stay blue, but these ones in here are the ones most likely to flip. I guess including 6, because that is technically red at the moment. But these are the ones to look forward to, and a lot of the campaigns are in these sections, along with holding them if they're already blue. That is also half the battle. Because what about fare evasion and crime? Well, you can either fix fare evasion and crime in two ways. You either put more police in the system by the fare gates, or you make the fare gates harder to hop. Both of those require money, which SEPTA does not have. So unless the Republicans are providing money to SEPTA for those things, they will not get those things fixed. So they can suck a fucking dick until they give SEPTA money. But the better way is to upgrade the fare gates. That is way more effective. Let's see. Very likely won't be flipped, sadly. We'll see. 6 is totally cooked going blue. Yeah, let's hope. Scranton even voted for Republicans. Well, it's because the sort of thing goes into the Hitler particles above Scranton. That's the problem. Let's see. The effects of the funding. It's not because of the fare. Even if everyone paid their fare on SEPTA, you would still have a deficit of some sort. But again, these are not the things that, like, we should even be having a conversation about. I don't expect every single piece of public infrastructure, like roads, like our sewer system, like some electric systems, some internet providers, some trash removal, I don't expect all of those things to be a net profit on every single item. Like every single road does not need to make a profit. We all just agree that having roads to move around easier makes society better and generally allows for commerce in other ways. Same with transit. Transit's the same concept. If you're smart enough to realize that they're essentially the same thing, good for you. Otherwise, you should learn. And it's basically, yeah, a lot of people just don't view it the same way, and that's the problem, is that, and one of the only ways and one of the best ways I've found to get people to sort of get the gears turning in their head, or sort of get the dumb smacked out of them, is you just reply with, how much money do the highways make in profit? And then they sit there and they either do one of two things. They either think about it and then they're like, oh yeah, that's kind of right. Or they sit there and they try to make excuses like, well, I guess the highway doesn't make profit, but people go places and then they're spending money and it's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, that's the same thing as transit. It's the same concept. It's just not a road. And so you might not drive your vehicle on it, but you can go places. The Hitler particles thing. Hitler particles just means like, an area with terrible vibes, or an area with terrible people, or with terrible generally terrible views that they hold. People become afraid. Bushwing all. 36 actually flipped in a special election in March, but I think the guy has to run again. Yes. Well, the problem with fare evasion is that they have to, like, if you're having fare evasion problems, it happens on everything. You need to replace every single fare gate. You need to somehow get the buses to not have fare evasion, which is very difficult. And then you also need to have, like, essentially a police force that is very active and bigger. And then you also just have to change the general, like mindset of the people living in a city. But, like, all of those things are very difficult. The easiest one to do is change the fare gates. But again, that requires money. That at least requires like a few $100 million something. So it's like, if the Republicans want to reduce fare evasion, sure, provide money for fare gates. That works. Does Amtrak have anything to say on what's happening before the past CEO got removed? I mean, he just stepped down, so he didn't get fired. Because, like, Trump and Musk figured out, oh yeah, Amtrak exists, that's a thing, and then they were going to do stupid shit to it. And then they quickly realized, oh, if we defund Amtrak, all the things that disappear first are the long distance trains. The long distance trains mainly run through red states. I shouldn't fuck with Amtrak too much. And so Amtrak hasn't been fucked with that much. The area around State College and Altoona is way worse. I guess it depends where you're talking. But yeah, I guess to the left or right of there can be bad. Also, the DA can't allow to ignore the law too. Our DA's fine. Just because he doesn't lock up black people all the time doesn't mean he's bad. He's at least not the San Francisco one. The San Francisco one is actually bad. Ours is just not what super conservative people want, which is basically a fascistic like DA. Anyway, let's see. We'll finish up soon because I need to eventually probably fix some of the stuff with this computer because we need to figure out what was going on with this stream because I think I've streamed before at this place and it wasn't an issue before, but I don't know. Bart stays winning. Well, Bart just barely also got funded, so I wouldn't be too confident about that either. I'll take any last questions if you guys have them before I will end the stream very soon. So it's very good hanging out with you. I need to do this more often, and we need to figure out more kind of fun concepts for streams in general. Amtrak Mardi Gras service. Yes, I had a few people that were on board that I knew. New Acela is starting soon too, but I'm not going to be on board because that is very expensive to get a ticket. And I have bothered people at Amtrak and PR, and they even said, oh, that's even hard to get tickets for press and PR. So doesn't seem like a lot of press is going to be on board in general. It's mainly normal people. CTA funding. I don't know much about the CTA situation. I just know that the state of Illinois dropped the ball. And it's all Democrats there, so there's really no excuse. I think that I've said this before. The problem with Democrats mainly in state politics is they just don't got the dog in them. They just don't got. They don't have the drive to sort of get stuff done the way Republicans do. But unfortunately, Republicans are evil. That's the problem. Walking stream. Yes, I need to do a walking stream. Thoughts on North Star? I think North Star was a bad service. And that replacing it with more frequent buses is not a bad thing. But Americans are scared of buses for the most part, especially in rural and suburban areas. So it's like, I don't know if it'll get higher ridership. I assume it might. But necessarily its schedule wasn't that good in the first place. So apparently the train sets are also going to be moved to the Hiawatha, which would be really funny. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know. Everyone that I've talked to about Minneapolis always complained about the North Star and always complained about how bad it was. So like, I'm not really surprised that they're going to replace it with more frequent buses. Necessarily, I think there should be more intercity trains in Minnesota, and I don't know why they haven't done more. But yeah. Amtrak Midwest program was only 25K. Huh. Any updates on trolley modernization? Yes, some of it happened during the trolley blitz, which was quite recent. Let's see. How's the new Lackawanna cutoff project doing in section Pennsylvania? Is it dead? No, it's not dead. It's just moving very slowly. The Pennsylvania section was getting track rehab last time I checked. Any thoughts on DC streetcar ending? Unless they extend the thing, it is a bad service, so it's fine being replaced with buses. Now, I would keep the tracks, I would keep the wires for in the future if they did extend the system and make it bigger, then it would be worth bringing back. I found the video. The SEPTA budget is actually 100 more. $100 million due to safety and cleaning. That is not correct. It's no, what they're asking for is about 200 million from the state. They're asking for about 200 million. Last year they asked for 230. So they're actually asking for less this year than last year. Let's see, state of Massachusetts and East-West Rail project isn't happening until federal funding. It's dumb as fuck. Yeah, it's basically we're gonna have to wait at least 2.5, 3 years for a lot of stuff because of how dumb the Republicans are. They don't believe in funding anything. They only believe in basically scamming people. So it's like, I can't wait till some of them die. I can't wait till one specific one dies, and we basically just have to wait until the next elections and stuff. Because as much doomer as a lot of people are, I do think that there's going to be an election that will happen in the future. Yeah, they're very fascistic, but also they're dumb as shit. So I'm pretty positive for the most part. Why did SEPTA choose popular regional rail lines for potential elimination? It's because they're on Amtrak-owned routes. They pay money to Amtrak to run these trains. So yeah, the thing that would cost the most and that they're most likely to cut is something that is regional rail lines on Amtrak-owned lines, so they don't have to pay Amtrak. That's essentially the main thing. Transcontinental UP NS monopoly. For the most part, I think it's okay, but I'm actually going to make a video on that, and I'm going to have someone help me with it. But essentially, for the most part, I don't think it's that bad of a thing, actually. And honestly, it's kind of accelerationism toward nationalization. So I'm not too negative about that. But that's another video coming after the SEPTA stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap stuff up. So I'll take one or two more closing things to talk about. You know, leave soon to foam CPKC manifest, non-repainted CN acquisition in the lead. Nice. I need to go back and foam some freight stuff on like the West Trenton line or something. All right, we'll talk about one more thing if y'all have one more thing to add. Let me open back up my YouTube stuff so we can get, oops, go live. Where is, okay. All right, well, if there's not too many last questions, we're gonna wrap things up here. But yeah, I need to get back to streaming more often. Damn it, what, did the stream, once again, our connection bad? Yeah, no, I need to figure out the stream quality and why it's dropping off as much, because I do not like that. It did not do that in the past. Yes, I will do more streams. I need to figure out what days of the week are better for streams, because it would be cool to do it more as a consistent, like every day or every week thing. Excuse me. So it would, we need to figure out some days of the week that are the best. So, anyway, yes, good that we were able to talk about the thing. You guys should look out for the SEPTA video that will be coming soon also. So, I will say, good night to you guys, and I will see you probably very soon on a stream, and definitely soon on a video on the main channel. So, see y'all.